Hey guys, today we're working on my 85 F-150. I just bought a new intake and exhaust manifold for it, but the problem I had when I put it in is I don't think I lined these up properly on the gasket, so I had smoke pouring out of my intake and exhaust manifold. So I'm going to take this part again tonight, try and put a new one in, and I'll try and keep you guys updated on everything that has to happen. When you're doing this, the best way to do this, I found, is to take a picture of everything before you start tearing it apart. That way you know where all your vacuum hoses go. Be mindful, there's some hoses down here. You'll want to know where they go as well. A couple of mine just have screws in the end of them. So that's just like to block up a leak, and I don't know where exactly that goes. But the truck was running before when I got it like this, so I just want everything to be put back right. Be careful taking this fuel filter off. You'll want to use a wrench to hold it here, another one to back this screw out. One other thing, guys, down on both sides of the carburetor here, you're going to see some bolts. These are the ones that have to come out for the carburetor to lift off the truck. So make sure, take a picture of everything, take your hoses, fuel line off, and then pull those bolts loose, and it'll pull, the carburetor will pull right out of there. Okay, so I took the carburetor off. The two bolts that run down from the carburetor also go through the smog filter. I don't know if all these trucks are going to have a smog filter, but mine did. So when you take those bolts out, smog filter will come out with it. My smog filter had a pipe on the bottom of it, ran to the back of the exhaust. I deleted that. I'm just going to put a bolt in at both ends, and that's not going to do anything for me. But yeah, so next thing, guys, I'm going to take these hoses off of here. Remember where they're at. Don't forget to take your pictures. I'll unthread this. I probably don't even need to take this off, but I'm going to, because this cast iron's pretty heavy. So when I loosen the lug nuts, the bolts up rather, that hold this manifold in place, then I just don't want this to fall out, hit anything, and break off inside of there. Also, take two 13mm bolts off this throttle plate, and they were actually 13mm bolts running down through the carburetor too, so I think I said 14. I apologize for that. I'm just going to take this throttle plate off, and that'll allow me to move some of these wires out of my way so I have more room to work. So yeah, move that out of the way, guys, and then remove this, and you should be able to start taking the bolts off the manifold. So now that everything's off of the intake manifold, guys, still got some of these wires in the way I couldn't really move. I got some melted plugs here I'm definitely going to need to replace soon in the future. But now that's all done, guys, I'm going to start loosening these bolts up ever so slightly. I think I'm going to take the top ones out about halfway, and then I'll get a buddy to help me hold the exhaust manifold while I loosen these 4 bolts up down in here. And then I should be able to wiggle it up enough, close that gasket space. I'm going to look at the gasket. If I burn it up, I've got a new one I'm going to put on there. So